A very important thing is to prepare well for the meetings with counterparts and with different groups of clients in Central Asia countries. But in Central Asia, there are some peculiarities that you need to be aware of. For example, if you request a meeting with certain counterparts in certain countries, you have to do it very, very well in advance. For example, in Turkmenistan, our country office suggests that you send a letter requesting a meeting with government officials 1 month in advance. And this may seem pretty long, but this is what the rules are, and we should respect them, because the governments have their own bureaucracies, have their own ways of doing business, and we should respect them. In other countries, the period may be shorter. For example, in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan, you may need 1 or 2 weeks, but please be aware that the letters need to be sent out. They should be very formal, explaining what the meetings are about, what the purpose of the visit is, and then you should expect to receive the desired response from the government counterpart. The governments act as big bureaucracies in Central Asia, and World Bank staff needs to be aware of the protocol, because this is important. And when you try to organize a meeting with participation of a government official, you should be very, very well aware of all the protocol issues that need to be taken into account. For example, the order of speeches, the layout at the table, where certain people need to be seated, how the table signs need to be done. And the best way to go about this is probably to talk to your counterpart and request assistance, because if you are inviting a very high-level official, a prime minister or a minister, you should know how to structure the event and how to seat people and how to organize the whole thing. Another thing is organizing meetings with other stakeholders, for example, with civil society organizations. In Central Asia, civil society is strictly controlled almost in all the countries except for Kyrgyzstan, maybe. This country is freer nowadays. But in all the other countries, civil society is very strictly controlled, and NGOs, the non-governmental organizations, may not have freedom to express their views openly in presence of the government officials. So whenever you organize a meeting when you want civil society to speak openly, please consider very thoroughly whether you want or you don't want to invite a government representative. For example, in consultations that we've organized, it is advisable to have both civil society and the government counterparts so that they hear each other's opinions. But in some countries, for example, in Tajikistan, in Uzbekistan, it is not such a good idea to have a government representative attending the meeting if you want civil society to talk freely and express their ideas openly. So consider having separate meetings for the civil society and for the government.